Alright, hi everybody. Next video in the 2020 breeding season. Left it a bit later just so I could show you some more chicks that have just hatched. So we've just started the second round. We'll go through in the order. The goldies are doing my head in. I've taken the nest pans out, left them out for about a week. It's 8-9 days I think. Put it back in. Some building, some messing. I've put the cock in with this hen because at the moment it's the only one that sort of seems more ready, but nothing with the goldies at the moment. We'll come down to this cage. We're down to cage 3. This hen and the cock was in cage 4. So she was on 6 chicks the first round, and second round again another 6 chicks. Let's have a look. Really good pair these are. There's 6 in there. Don't know if you can make it out, but there is 6 in there. Considering that these hatched after some of the others and these are bigger than some of the others, is really good for that pair. So the hen that was in cage 3, the last one, she was the one that was with a cock, one of the that cock down there in cage 6. She got moved to go to be put with the red-eyed bird. She's down in cage 13, just down here. Won't go too close. She hatched 6 out, so another nest of 6. I've got 4 red-eyed hens from that and 2 cocks. I've moved 2 red-eyed hens into cage 6, so I'll go into that in a sec. So moving on, cage 5. This is the one, if you remember. She raised 5 chicks by herself. She went with a red-eyed cock. All 5 fledged, but she was still feeding the chicks, so I moved the cock onto another hen, and then she started to lay some stud eggs off the perches because there was no nest in there. She's just started to build. But as I say, she was laying eggs off the perch. I didn't really want to put the cock in with her, so obviously that's how it was. So yeah, she's just starting to build now. Going on to cage 6. So that hen was, I can't even remember where she was. She was by herself. Okay, I remember. Right, so she gave me some chicks. She was with the red-eyed cock the first round, but she was by herself, didn't start feeding the chicks, was really bad by herself. So the chicks got moved to some of the other nests. They all made it. So I decided to put her with a cock this time, and yeah, she's done really well. She was on 5 eggs, 3 of hers were fertile, so I decided to take the dud ones out and put the other 2 chicks from the hen down there by herself in 13. So you can see just in there, there's 5 chicks in there. They're really well. Let's get it to focus. 2 red-eyed hens in there, and then obviously her own chicks, which I won't know the sex of until they molt. So that's that pair. Red-eyed cock went back to the hen in cage 7. She was still on the chick. She only had a single chick, so that's the cock, because obviously if it's black eyes it's going to be a cock in this one, because obviously it's got the red-eyed in it, and because it hasn't got red eyes it's a cock. So anyway, she's now on 5 full eggs. She's been sitting for over a week. So that cock, the chick's been feeding itself, so easily, like you can see the tail feathers coming through. So that cock's going to now be moved back up to the cage, the hen in cage 5. So that's the yellow mosaics. Going on to the red satinette mosaic. This pair, I had it with the first round with some of the with the yellow mosaics. These fight like cat and dog when they're together, and then fight like cat and dog to get together when they're split up. So she was sitting on 5 eggs, and I came down one day and 2 of the 5 were on the floor split. I decided to, I didn't know who it was, I was going to put a divide in, but I was running late for work. Came down the next day, and yeah, the other 2 eggs were on the floor, and the other egg, being the 5th egg, was infertile. So I let her sit just in case I needed her to be a feeder for anyone. But everyone seems to be doing well, so I'll take her nest out, give her another week, and then put the nest pan in. That'll be the 3rd round for her. The other pair of red satinette mosaics, she was on 4 eggs. I think she laid 6, but couple was infertile, so she got 3 chicks. That little one just to the side has only just hatched out. So you got 3 in there, all doing well. And the red Isabel mosaics, I'll have to check the records upstairs. She's only on the 1 chick, but I'm sure that the other eggs are fertile. So I will just have to double check, because if that is from this pair, then the cock would be carrying the satinette. So I'll have to double check with that. It may be a case that I've moved that chick, the eggs into this one. So I'll have to double check that. If any of those other ones don't hatch, I'm going to take that chick out and put it in another nest and give these ones another round. So that's 12. We know what's going on down in 13. The red agate topaz mosaics. The hen's on 2 chicks. She's doing really well. Bit hesitant with her. The first round I did get something out of her, but the eggs got moved and moved on to another hen. So I was quite nervous about letting her sit, but she's doing well. She's got 2. I think she laid 4, so 2 out of 4, not too bad. That hen in there, she's by herself because the cock's feeding the 2 other chicks. She was the one that gave me, she was the rear in the red-eyed yellow mosaics, and 2 of her own chicks. They all fledged, all doing well. Back down to the other pair. Now at the beginning I would have put a lot of money on these, would have been the best pair of the red agate mosaics, purely just because how well they got on, how well he was feeding her. This round, first round, I can't even remember what I got from these, but the second round, 1 dead in shell and 3 clear. First round, kind of like I say, I can't even remember, but I've decided to pull the nest pan, let them spend a week apart without the nest, sorry, and then I'll put the nest back in and see how we get on. Red fur mosaics. These, she had the chicks in the cage still when it was, I think one of the chicks must have busted 2 eggs. Problem is because they was, the cock just kept on trying to get to her if I put a divide in, and the hen was coming off the nest every time. So I decided to let them run all together, and the chicks just messed it up. So yeah, I was going to keep them as feeders for anything else, but as I say, everything else seems to be feeding. So I pulled the nest out, going to give them a week, so then I've got a couple of pairs that will go down for the 3rd round at the same time. So that's those. Just out of that last hen, the red fail, I do believe I put one of the eggs underneath this hen here. She was sitting on 5 eggs, and only 1's hatched, so it's got red eyes. So again, that's got to be, I'm guessing, from the red fair mosaics. I think I did move one of their chicks. So if the red Isabel mosaics don't have any more hatch, I'm going to move their egg into, their chick into this cage. She can rear the 2. So that's those. Going on to the red brown Jasper mosaics. She gave me one chick last round, but she was fostering the yellow mosaics, but this round she's got 4 of her own. There's 4 chicks in the nest, all doing really well. She's feeding them really well. And then the other pair of red brown Jasper mosaics, she's on 4 chicks as well. So that's the chicks. Going back to the red agate topaz mosaics, that's 2 chicks. There's a dad. He's still feeding these 2, but they're feeding themselves. I could pretty much put him back, which I will do tomorrow. I'll put him back with the hen. These 2 can go into the flight. So onto the yellow mosaic chicks. You can see they've got the big flight cage at the top. They're all busy eating. So they're all in the flights. So yeah, they're doing really well up here. All colour coded with rings, so I know what nest they come from, so I know if they've carrying the red-eyed or not. And then into the flight, you've got all of the red chicks that are molting out. Oh, sorry, camera's playing up. You got some more there. So yeah, chicks on the flight, all doing really well at the moment. Like I say, second round has they've just started hatching probably about 4 days ago. Still got 2 nests to hatch within I think it's about another week or 8 days. You've got the yellow mosaics down there, and then you've got the red agate topaz mosaic hen that's sitting on 4 full eggs. So another 9 eggs to hatch. I'm hoping that they all hatch. First round, chicks sitting at about, I think it's about 41, 40. Second round, if everything hatches and everything stays alive, that'd be about 43, give or take. See how it goes. So that'd be the second round, and then if I've got time, depending on what happens, I'll put them down for the third. By then, hopefully, these bloody goldies will start. But bit of a longer video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope the lockdown hasn't knocked anybody and everyone's keeping safe. Thanks very much. Bye bye.